That's a good one. AutoTalksUS, we are back. The 24 hours of Daytona is going on. I want to see how much time is left on that thing because I typically do like to follow it, especially if I have somebody that I like, somebody that I support racing in the race, maybe a past client, someone I'm a big fan of, something like that. I remember right before I went to bed, I saw Kamui Kobayashi took first. All right, here we go. Hour 20 update. It's Porsche, BMW, Porsche prototypes running 1, 2, 3. The Porsche-owned Penske prototypes are now running first and third, with Bobby Rahal's BMW in between. Just 9 seconds separate the top three with 4 hours remaining. Kevin Magnussen remains in the BMW. Colin Braun and Meyer Shank Acura is a minute off the lead in fourth. All right, cool. So we got Kevin Magnussen. That's awesome running in the BMW. That must be the picture that they posted here. There's a really cool shot of the Cadillac, or I'm sorry, the BMW with the Penske Porsche in the background. Oh my gosh, wait. Yeah, it is Kevin. So you can actually zoom in on this picture that was posted on the Daytona Beach News Journal. They have some pictures from the race, and they got Kevin Magnussen in there in the BMW. All right, so that's pretty cool. We're gonna keep an eye on that. I think the race ends at like 1:30 our time. So let me check here really quick. Daytona 24-hour live updates. We should probably go to Twitter. It's actually really cool. The track's only 13. 13 turns, 12 turns, and then you got the bus stop, which is just awesome. You look at it's a kind of a chicane thing, and then the V-shaped section with the two hairpins on both ends. It's a really, really cool track. I mean, it's largely oval based. Of course, they run the stock cars at Daytona, so it's pretty cool. And to see, GT prototypes, racing around the clock. I still prefer Le Mans as far as 24-hour races. I just don't think that the Daytona racetrack offers enough for me personally. God, if this show were big, I would get so much shit for that comment. But it is what it is. Even on the simulator, when I drive Daytona, it's fun and the banks are cool and just that oval experience. But I mean, to be 100% honest, it's not totally my thing. However, I do love it. It's exciting racing. Racing at night, watching it is going to be fun regardless. I think night racing is just awesome. On the simulator, I don't really do any night racing as much. It's just simply I'm just not that good. So. Yeah, I just want to see an update, basically. Who's in first, who's not, what's going on. Their page has actually just been awful, the Rolex 24 page. I mean, these guys, I don't know who runs that account, but they've got to do better. 6 hours to go. Leaders, Porsche, Penske Motorsports, Felipe Nasser, Nick Tandy, and Lawrence Vantor. LMP2, we've got AO Racing in the Orica LMP2, PJ Hyde, Dane Cameron, Johnny Edgar, and Christian Rasmussen. GTD Pro Class, we've got Paul Miller Racing in the M4 GT3 Evo. I need to look at this thing, the GT3 Evo. Madison Snow, Neil Verhagen, Connor DeFilippi, and Kelvin Vanderland. And then GTD, the AWA Hawa Corvette Z06 GT3R. Ore Fidani, Matthew Bell, Lars Kern, and Marvin Kirschhofer. Pretty cool. Yesterday I went to Cars and Coffee, Texas. This was their 6th anniversary, I think, and they held it at G2 Motorsports Park. Let me see if that's what it's actually called. I think it's either G2 Motorsports Park. This is a local racetrack here just outside of Dallas. It was opened by a gentleman named Lou, who's been a race car driver for about 40 years, maybe a little bit longer. Raced in Camaros and Corvettes, and he's well known in the GM world. And he ran that the Corvette GT2 with Tom Drissy and one other guy. I don't remember his name. Very, very distinguished race car driver who opened a racetrack here in town. It's called G2 Motorsports Park. You guys need to go check it out. I'll probably put a link in somewhere with this episode. I'm not very good at this whole podcasting thing yet. I'm much better at just rambling than I am at the technical stuff, but I will find a way to link G2 Motorsports Park. But if you have Google, I recommend you wait till the end of this episode and then type it in Google and check it out. G2 Motorsports Park is really cool. They've got condos that you can purchase right there on the racetrack, so it's kind of like one of those lavish living car guy experiences, basically. And they host a car show too. So Cars and Coffee of Texas, which is usually I want to say Cars and Coffee South Lake. If it's not you guys, please don't roast me. I'm doing the best I can without having everything open, but I'm pretty sure Cars and Coffee South Lake is the same entity that put this event on at G2. It was a fantastic time. I think I saw Lou or someone from their team, mention on the internet that they had over 460 registered vehicles in attendance with over 700 people in attendance. That's massive. It was their first car show there. It's going to do a heck of a lot for the racetrack itself because they were actually running the track. It was an open track day where you could basically sign up and run your car on the track during the car show. So that was really cool. I think if you're coming into Dallas, or if you already live in Dallas, you're a car guy, you're a car collector, you've got a bunch of really cool cars. Getting signed up with something like this is probably not going to hurt you. It's a safe investment because it's real estate, but it's also a community. If you're a business owner, you spend most of your time talking capital, talking investment, talking growth. You want to protect your organization, you want to protect your employees, you want to protect everything that has to do with the business that you own and operate or you're a part of. And so spending time with like-minded individuals who are also car guys, who are also here to just basically enjoy their cars, live their life, get away from the hustle and bustle of the real world for a little bit. You guys will find yourselves in the same circle. You guys will find yourselves spending time at these condos that you've purchased, taking your car out to the track. That's where you're going to be doing a lot of networking. You're going to be talking to a lot of like-minded individuals who are also there for the same reason, which is just to share their automotive passion and get away from the rest of the world. To me, I think this is awesome. If I had, $500,000, $1 million to play with, I would purchase one of these condos, set it up, put a nice desk in there, maybe have some office space, something to do in case friends and family want to come by and visit. You have some meetings there too. If you're trying to close a deal and you got a guy on the other end of the table that's also, he likes adrenaline, he likes cool stuff. You just say, hey, listen, why don't we park this for now? Let me take you down the street. I got something cool I really want to show you. It's my other office. Say, your other office? It's, I thought your business was in Dallas. It is in Dallas, but there's another cool thing I really want to show you. You mentioned you like cars. He's like, no, I love cars. Yeah, well, why don't we take a little road trip? It's about 45 minutes from here, and then we'll finish the conversation there. And so you guys hop in the car. You drive 45 minutes. You go to your garage at G2 Motorsports Park. The dude's eyes just go whoom. The eyes just get huge. He's like, what is this place? Well, this is a little community that I'm a part of. We've got a racetrack here, my condo. We can go inside. I've got a little office there that we can talk and just look at some cool cars and look at some cool stuff if you're okay with that. Sure, of course. All right, come on up. That changes the dynamic of the conversation, and I think also if the other person is genuinely into that sort of stuff, he knows why you're sharing that experience with them. You're not. This is no longer so much about the deal you're trying to close as it is just you two dudes who like adrenaline and fast-paced stuff. I'm gonna try to stay away from cursing until I decide what direction the show is gonna go in, because I have a huge potty mouth, and I'm not sure if this is gonna be a place where I want to use vulgarity, or if we can create a nice atmosphere and environment for ourselves without the need for stuff like that. So you guys will have a bunch of stuff to talk about, and when you guys arrive at a place like this, I mean, you've got cars here and a racetrack, and hopefully you bring them on a day where there's other people on the track, just getting some laps in. So very, very cool place. There was a couple cars. I'm gonna pull my phone up here. You guys can't see it, but I saw some very, very cool stuff at this car show. The very first was this. This 765 LT, full exposed weave carbon. The full exposed weave carbon thing, almost every manufacturer out there, they offer an exposed weave car, almost always at a premium. Exposed weave carbon fiber 765 LT. Let's look it up. They always offer it at a premium. You're always going to have to pay a lot more money. A lot of money. Lots of money. You're going to pay a lot of money to get that, the exposed carbon look, 4x4, twill, whatever, instead of just getting the car painted. There's a couple of reasons for that. For one, it's an exclusivity thing. Almost all of their cars are painted, and people are really proud of their paint, so they're going to leave one or two or three, that will be basically just not painted. And it's a breath of fresh air or whatever. You can choose to paint the car or put a wrap on it yourself. But they want to release something that is just fully iconic. Exposed carbon fiber with just a clear coat over top. Now, I'm familiar with this concept. I'm actually greatly familiar with this concept because the previous company that I used to work for as a sales director, they created most of their automobiles with carbon fiber, meaning the outer body of the shell, the outer body. So not the crash structure of the car, not the chassis, but the body of the car was entirely 4x4 weave pre-preg carbon fiber. So I was used to having a lot of my clients ordering their car in exposed weave carbon because it was just cool to see the carbon fiber. Now I'm looking at a picture of this McLaren. Ours at the company I work for, we actually did a better job of that. The carbon fiber weave is the same. It's a 4x4 weave pre-preg. I can tell just by looking at the car, but we matched up they match up their carbon weave from panel to panel, meaning from the headlight to the fascia to the front bumper, the fender, the hood, the body, the doors. The lines in the carbon will match from panel to panel. This is very, very, very cool and interesting for our customer, or for their customers, for any customers in general. It's because if anything ever happens, that's the DNA of the car. Okay, I'm back. That's the DNA of the car, basically. It is, if you ever have an accident or anything, you can have that entire section of the car recreated, basically, and repaired. But also, it's just cool. It shows care. It shows diligence, and to get each panel, the weave pattern, to match up perfectly, it really, really demonstrates that someone genuinely cared about what they were doing, and they put the time into it. And I like that. It's craftsmanship. Everything's craftsmanship. So I'm looking at these pictures now. The carbon fiber work is really, really good on this car. Don't get me wrong. But I would have loved for that weave pattern to match. I mean, if we can, I've made my point. I think it's awesome. It looks really, really cool. But yeah. I would ask what the weight savings are, but it is a McLaren 765 LT. I don't think that that the exposed weave is going to be saving any tremendous amount of weight over a painted car. Maybe a couple kilos, depending on how heavy the paint is, but largely the body on that car should already be carbon fiber, right, guys? So I don't see that it's going to be a dramatic difference. Now, I did just find a company online. I'm not going to say their name just because I don't know what how much people like this brand, but I'm pretty sure I found the body kit. I say body kit because I don't think this came from McLaren as a exposed weave carbon car. And also just some of the panels, the way they look like they've been attached. If I'm wrong, if this is a fully bespoke exposed weave car directly from the McLaren Technology Center, I apologize. I clearly should know more on this as a automotive consultant. However, I what I'm looking at right now, um, the 765 LT Spider Carbon Edition. We have completed another unique project. At the customer's request, we've replaced all exterior panels on this McLaren 765 LT with 4x4 twill carbon fiber, where we also replaced all the glass body panels with glossy carbon fiber special weave. We completely replaced factory parts with our own, meaning the factory parts were preserved, and if the customer wants to return the car to its original look, it will take 3 days of work. Okay, so what I'm looking at here, you guys can't see it, but what I'm looking at here is a company that makes a complete 765 LT Spider Carbon Edition body. It is every single body panel for the car to get it to what I am seeing in my pictures on my phone. Now, let's go back, and I want to see if McLaren themselves released something like this, because if they did, if McLaren did release something like this, I for sure would go go the OEM route, where it was spec'd and ordered as such, because that's just going to be where the value is at. That's 100% going to be where the value is at. I don't think taking off, McLaren produced body panels to cover the entire chassis of the car in aftermarket panels that were probably not tested to the lengths that McLaren would have tested them. I mean, let's just be honest. If you're a small company just making carbon fiber body panels, it's not rocket science. You create molds. So you take the factory body, you scan it, you create molds, and then you go to town recreating new panels out of carbon fiber using a pre-preg, form of carbon work, where you're just laying down material into these molds, cooking them in the autoclave, and then there you go. You create them, you lacquer them, you treat them, you do the full carbon treatment and clear coat and all that stuff until you get a final piece. But it's never going to be the original body panel. And so if McLaren themselves did a exposed weave carbon, if they did it themselves, they would have done it a little bit differently. They would have probably, here's an MSO one. It's blue carbon. It's exposed weave blue carbon. This is more like it, guys. This is more like it. McLaren 765 LT. Here we go. All right, here we go. McLaren cars, light and extreme. Sounds like something you can actually do with the bespoke carbon fiber body is carved and sculpted to increase downforce. Yes, buzzwords. I love it. We love marketing buzzwords around here, don't we, guys? Anyway, long story short, I think it's really, really cool to do the exposed weave carbon situation, whether it's real, whether it's not. Of course, it's real. It is real carbon fiber. What I'm saying is, whether it's OEM or not, it should only matter to the buyer, right? I'm blown away. I looked at it. I think it was just the craftsmanship. Like I said, it's done really, really well. Does the weave match from panel to panel? No, of course not. And it only bugs me because I come from a company that did the same thing in a different way. So the average person is not going to have that criticism. They don't have that data bank of comparable material in their brain. I'm looking at it right now. It's got the McLaren badge on it instead of the badge of this company on the bonnet. So that is a small difference that I'm seeing. Let's see. Yeah, I don't, on the hood of this car, they've got their own badge, whereas on the hood of this car, from the car show, it's actually McLaren's badge. It doesn't have the imprint either. So yeah, this could very well be OEM. Again, I don't know, but it's cool either way. 2 Lamborghini Revueltos showed up. I learned how to pronounce that word maybe a month ago. Revuelto. Very, very cool. They were both green. One was a bronzish kind of golden green, almost like a I don't know. Kind of like turdy a little bit, goldish turd. Whereas the other one was a verde color. It was a matte verde, not verde Ithaca though. I don't think this was verde Ithaca. I think this was a lighter version. I'm gonna check it out. Matte green Revuelto. It reminded me. Go figure. I type in matte green Revuelto and it shows me the military green one that I was just talking about. So not that one, not the military green, but it's this like it's a lime green. It's you guys remember that the launch color for the Huracan? It was they had 3 different shades of this light green. It was like the lightest of the 3, and it's matte verde. Maybe it is verde Ithaca. That was one of the only colors that. Well, I'll be damned. Sorry, guys. I'm freaking idiot. Okay. Vivid contours of excellence. Here we go. Lamborghini green. This matte green color is literally perfect for this car. That's what the people are saying. So if you guys want to take a look, it's on my Instagram, that Shelby guy Igor. You guys can take a look. I posted both of them. It's on the very last page on that particular post, but it's just this matte green Revuelto, and right next to it is a gloss green Huracan. What kind of Huracan is that? What is that, an Evo? It's a Technica. I think that's what it's called. Lots of stuff. Side-by-sides everywhere. Downtown Dallas right now at Fuel City. Looks like there's probably about 100 to 200 ATVs and side-by-sides and stuff like that. They're all just cruising around. We have a very funny city that is all about their car stuff and their motors. It's funny, I was driving down in Deep Ellum the other day and saw a couple lowriders. These guys, they drive slow. And so they're all 3 of them are going down, I think Main Street in Deep Ellum, and just cars are just going around them, left side, right side, just kind of flanking them, trying to go around them. These guys could not care less. I mean, they are cruising, and that's the camaraderie that I want. I mean, talk about how cool that would be, just you and your buddies. You guys are just cruising around town. Nobody can tell you how fast to go. Nobody can tell you how slow to go. You're just like, bam, 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 just cruising. And I think that's nice. Moving on, we got a couple other cool things we can talk about here. The since this is my podcast, I guess it wouldn't be crazy if I talked business for 2 minutes. We have a couple cars for sale on the website, iapconsultingsolutions.com. This is my personal website for my business where I help not just exotic car collectors. That's the most important thing I need people to understand, and maybe I need to do a better job of bringing awareness to this, but I'm not here to help just exotic car owners and just car collectors. An automotive consultant should be able to find a solution for anybody's problem as it pertains to the automobiles that they drive. I didn't get into this business to, tell some rich guy what his Ferrari is worth. There's a million people out there that can do that, and now in the future, going towards the direction of AI, there's also going to be a lot of there's also going to be a lot of technology that can do that for you. And so we need to be here to help everyone. IAP Consulting Solutions is going to be focusing, our strategy for 2025 primarily is going to be everyday people. It's going to be the people who are shopping around for a car. They see that during COVID, prices just went completely ass backwards and up in between. The car that they drive right now, probably not worth a lot, unfortunately, especially if they bought it at the dealer. If it's a modern vehicle, I would say between if it's between 3 to 6 years old, you may be surprised by what its value is today, but that shouldn't scare you. That's why we are here. The car market is a very volatile place, just like real estate, just like just like stocks. You don't buy those other asset classes without talking to an expert first. I think cars are the last asset slash liability class that people can purchase. It's something that you purchase that you don't talk to an expert. We have all become so comfortable with cars being a part of our life that we just exchange hands. We just, get rid of one, pick up another, sign papers, sign documents, take out loans, financing, leasing, blah, 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 blah. We do this on a yearly basis, monthly basis, around the clock without talking to people, just leaving thousands of dollars laying around for, well, let's be honest, the dealership or the person that is getting your business is going to win. Almost 9 out of 10 times. And so getting into this business, this was my thought philosophy. I have purchased about 5 cars in my life, in which I definitely did not come out on top. What could have been done differently in each one of those 5 times? And could I have benefited from having a automotive consultant look at the situation before I jumped into it? Well, the answer is yes to all of it. And I'll use a personal example as an example that I see every single day. I found a used car that I really liked. Didn't know I wanted it. Didn't know I needed it. I wasn't in the market, but I found it. I saw it. Now it's too late. I really wanted it. It was a BMW 135i. It was black with red interior. It was an M Sport car, so it had the big brakes. And they're just cool. It's the year of the one. So it was a 2008. And as a BMW guy, I mean, I wanted it. I was, 19 years old. I think 19, maybe 20. Yeah, I was 20 years old, and almost 10 years ago. And I'll never forget it. I drove at the time a Mazda Speed 6. No. What did I drive? I drove a Acura T. I think I had my TL Type S at the time. Yes, I think I had my Acura TL Type S at the time, and then I saw this this BMW. So I started, the very first thing was just to see if I could maybe find a way to sell my Acura really quickly to get that car. Here's the problem. I also got shafted on my Acura. So the Acura was worth less than what I financed it for, which meant I was underwater. There was no way I was going to get out of that. So selling the Acura, unfortunately, in a record time in order to buy this BMW was simply not an option. The BMW was a little bit out of my price range as far as cash purchase goes. I had to get financing on it, and my credit sucked. So I made all 3 decisions that you just do not want to see people make when they go down this road. I traded in my Acura, pennies on the dollar as far as value goes, in order to get rid of the financing on it to finance this BMW. So what happened was the dealer that I got the BMW from paid off my Acura note, took it on trade, gave me nothing for it, flipped around, added the remainder of that payoff margin to the new price of the BMW so that I wouldn't be underwater, and basically had my Acura for, I'm not going to tell you guys what the numbers were, but there was about half. I got about half on that trade-in deal. So long story short, I was overextended and overfinanced on the BMW by almost 55% relative to what its individual value was at the time. To say that I was underwater is like I was where the Titanic submarine was. And I'm glad my memory is bad because I don't remember what exactly happened after that. I don't remember too much of that experience, but I definitely remember talking to my parents about what a colossal mistake I had made. Long story short, I did end up getting the car back. I did end up giving it back, and I got my Acura back. I went on to own that Acura for about 7 years. It was amazing, that TL Type S. Oh God, I love those cars so much. If you Google the Acura TL Type S with wheels and coilovers, it is the most sexy late 2000s sedan I think ever existed. Between the taillights and the big brakes and the waffles and the bucket seats, the manual transmission, limited slip front differentials, front wheel drive, but still. Oh, dude. And the 3.5 that came in that car, absolutely cooked. Great car. The BMW ended up not being a good choice. However, a year later, I did go on to make another bad decision, and I got a V10 M5. We'll probably have an entire episode on that car. Absolutely epic. All right, we're at 31 minutes. I think that's probably enough for you guys. You guys are probably not listening anyway because we've been rambling about a bunch of nonsense. But again, this is just the start of the show. We're still trying to find our format. We're still trying to find what we're actually going to be talking about. And of course, segments are going to be coming. We're going to have segments. There will be guests. The guests that we're going to have on this show are going to be people from the automotive industry that I personally know or that I've always wanted to talk to. So we're going to have guests as salespeople, insurance agents, owners, collectors, race car drivers, mechanics, technicians, engineers, writers, journalists, agents, producers, and pretty much everything in between. We are going to try to talk to anybody that's involved in the automotive industry about all things cars. I'm really, really excited. I want to thank all of you guys so much for tuning in, for listening, for giving me your precious minutes of your day. The best way to support this channel would just be to spread the word. Tell your friends, be like, hey man, there's an awesome automotive talk show that just started. It's based out of Dallas. It's hosted by this guy, Igor. Here's his Instagram. Here's the YouTube. Here's whatever, Spotify, Apple. Share the show. It's going to be great. 2025 is looking like it's going to be an absolutely phenomenal year in the automotive space. Formula One is coming back. Lewis Hamilton is at Ferrari. I can't even imagine what kind of content we're going to be having just on that alone. So, stay tuned. I know it's cliche. Everybody says, stay tuned for more. This is our second episode, okay? There will be more, and it will be better. And if you thought that this was interesting, I appreciate it. I don't think this was the most productive of episodes, but I'm here to tell you guys that it is going to get better, and I just want to find out what people want, because when I find out what people want, I will give it to them. So thank you so much for listening, and tune in next time. Bye.